Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, shockingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Thursday, May 25th, 2023. This is live stream 924. If you are not overly familiar with the Gaming Gang Dispatch, let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and normally taking a first look at a game, which is what we'll be doing tonight. So on the agenda, we are going to dive on in and take a look at the Mirror of Malatesto from 12 Strand Media by way of Exalted Funeral. That's right, this is available through Exalted Funeral. So there you have it. We're going to be taking a peek at this. This is an adventure for OSE. It is also available in a 5e flavor. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Should mention, if you are tuning in because you are looking for the live page through of the Mirror of Malatesto, let me point out, we always tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So that means it'll probably be about 40 minutes before we get into the live page through. So if you're watching live, kick back, put your feet up. It is Friday Eve, as a friend of ours has just pointed out. And if you're a subscriber, you'll have something to occupy your time while you're waiting for the live page through. But if you are watching this 30 minutes or more after the show ends, there will be timestamps. So if you're impatient and you just gotta get to that first look, I understand. You can use those timestamps, jump ahead, get right into that first look. Now, depending on the device you might be watching this on, those timestamps might be right there in the timeline of the video itself. Also, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, and you must be a subscriber. See, remember I mentioned if you're a subscriber, you could occupy your time. Yes, in chat. But you must be a subscriber for at least 48 hours before you can take part. Yes, yet another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. So, first out the gate is our pal, the Motor City Madman. Yes, the Madman pointing out it is Friday Eve. And the Madman also happens to be one of our chat moderators, as is Flaming Huron, who is with us in chat, as is Veteran Grabelox, John Muscola, Kathy Evans, Caitlin K is joining us once again. Good to see you back, Caitlin. And I believe she may have her husband in tow. I don't know, watching live. But I seem to recall, I think Caitlin K mentioned her and her husband have recently found the channel. Not that we were hiding. And I wonder, we might have Sarah D. She might be lurking. I don't know. It's another, I actually don't know if they're married, to be honest. I know they're a couple. So we have a couple who tends to watch live. Although I don't know if Mr. Eddie T watches anymore, because he rarely chimes in to chat. But at one point, they would each be watching the stream in different rooms. So I thought that was funny. Yes, okay, so Jaron is there with Caitlin K. So howdy, Jaron. Welcome aboard. So Sarah D says, speaking of hiding, zoinks! So Flaming Heron asks, are you not hiding in the spider cave, Jeff? No, it is not the spider cave. It is the kingdom of the spiders. Although I've been spraying a little peppermint around to hopefully keep them at bay. So I don't want to kill them. I just don't want them hanging around me while I'm shooting videos and streaming live and watching them come directly in front of that lens. You've seen that a couple of times on the live stream where all of a sudden you see this blob kind of going past. That's one of the spiders. So there you have it. So Sarah D says that she and Mr. Eddie T just celebrated 14 years together. They may as well be married. Well, congratulations. I'm lucky if somebody can tolerate me for 14 minutes, let alone 14 years. 245 Trioxin is also popping on into chat. I think I've said hello to everyone. So let's get on into the news, because this summer is going to see the release of Guns or Treasure from Castillo Games by way of Atlas Games. Here's what I know. Guns or Treasure is a speedy game of buccaneering and bluffing. It has a beautiful shipbuilding aesthetic, excellent replayability, and a wide demographic appeal. Throw in a purse to entertain your kids or carry in your pocket to add some rowdy fun to pub time with the guys. So are you going to entertain your kids at the pub? All right, something's not clicking with that sentence. Plunge into a world of colorful pirate captains bluffing and battling their way to capture the most loot. The game offers a satisfying shipbuilding experience, rapid rounds of maritime marauding, and captains whose special abilities can sway the tide of any given battle. Each player secretly builds their ships by laying down 10 cards. Cards add guns, treasure, or a bomb to your ships. The players then take turns marauding other players' ships or retreating to safety. Marauding is the key to victory, since a successful attack means you score the treasure from both ships. But beware. Their ships may be well equipped with guns or rigged with a bomb. The player with the most treasure wins. In the game, you secretly build your ships by adding guns, treasure, or bombs. Attack rival ships to steal treasure. But beware, they may have more guns. Or even that bomb. Whoever captures the most treasure is the winner. Guns or Treasure is for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 10 to 15 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $19.99 when it arrives in Q3. I gotta say, I like the look of this. This looks kind of interesting. So it looks like you kind of create your fleets. So kind of cool. And it is from the same company, Castillo Games, that did, I think it's called Rescuing Robin Hood, which always had a cool look to it. I heard good things about that. So this is coming soon. I believe this had a successful Kickstarter. Sarah D mentions they've been extra quiet because they're having issues with live streams. It drops to 144p, then freezes, and then she has to reload. Man, that sucks. It's gotta be, it's a YouTube thing. It's weird because reality is, if my stream was that poor going up to YouTube, the videos would just be atrocious when they were finally processed. And thankfully, that is not the case. And I am taking a peek, and at this point, we have 0 drop frames to this point. I took a peek last night, too. Speaking of last night, I should point out, I apologize for the sound. Wasn't thinking. Remember, I mentioned I had tried to do an interview with Wolfgang Bauer from Cobalt Press, and I always put my cans on, and because the microphone is so close, I have to turn the volume down quite a bit so that it doesn't pick it up, right? The mic doesn't pick it up. And I completely forgot that I had turned the volume down. And I was like, why is the volume so low for the mic today? What the hell's going on? So I boosted it, and it wasn't completely clipping, but it was pretty damn close to clipping. So in my opinion, it sounded awful last night. So hopefully tonight's okay. Melwinius from Yolk is joining the fray. Nice. And Kevin R. Smith has slipped on in. I don't think I said hello to Kevin yet. So welcome back, Kevin. And Serdi says it's definitely YouTube. They've tested their connection. They can watch regular videos, no issues. It's only live streams. That's bizarre. Moving right along. This fall, Salt and Pepper Games will be releasing The Hunt. Here's the skinny. September 1939. The commander of the Admiral Graf Spee receives the order to sink as many British freight ships as possible in the South Atlantic. I gotta be honest, I don't think they're referred to as freight ships. Just saying. The objective is to intercept the ships crossing the Atlantic and prevent supplies from reaching the UK and other destinations. The plan seems to work in the first months. Within a few weeks, the Admiral Graf Spee sinks 9 freight ships, once again, not called freight ships, and sends almost 50,000 gross registered tons to the seabed. The gigantic loss puts the Army Command in London Whitehall under pressure. Got to admit, this company is out of Spain, so localization on this might be off a little bit. In order to protect their freighters, ding, correct answer there, thank you, in the best possible way, the Admiralty had no choice but to reinforce the English fleet in the South Atlantic by sending 3 cruisers in what is known as the Battle of River Plate. The Hunt is an asymmetrical duel in which one player assumes the leadership of the British Royal Navy. Well, actually, those 3 ships, not the entire Navy. While the other player represents the German Kriegsmarine. Actually, the captain of the Admiral Graf Spee. Each player has their own deck of cards. In order for the German side to win, it must stay hidden from the British while sinking 5 cargo ships. The British player must hunt down and fight the Admiral Graf Spee in a final naval battle, in which case the side that ends up with less damage wins. Will the Royal Navy be able to take advantage of its numerical superiority, or will the Kriegsmarine be the ones who, with their cunning and refined strategy, manage to overthrow their rival? Overthrow? There's a reason why I'm sharing this news piece, though. The Hunt is for 2 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 25 to 45 minutes, will carry an MSRP of around $24.99. Might end up being $29.99, I'm not sure. It's going to set sail this September, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because The Hunt is designed by the same gentleman who designed Watergate. Isn't it Wolfgang Kramer, if I remember correctly? I really like that game. This is supposed to share some similarities to it. And interestingly enough, it is from a game company out of Spain. I thought, okay, that's unusual, right? Seeing Watergate came from, wasn't it Capstone Games, everybody? I thought it was. Out of the US. So, Kabuki Kid has joined us. Double K's in the house. Good to see you, Double K. It's been a while. Well, not that long, but it's probably been a couple weeks. There you go. It's Matthias Kramer. Thank you, Double K. Yeah, Wolfgang Kramer is a different reviewer, or not reviewer, designer. So, alrighty. And then, of course, there's Wolfgang Bauer. I was just talking about him a moment ago. I got Wolfgang's on the mind, I guess. Let's talk about some role-playing game news, because now available in print and PDF from Lucid Eye Publications is Elf King, the Immortal role-playing game. Here's the scoop. You are an immortal fae, glorious in mane, perhaps a thane or fell sorcerer, glamour-bound and rich with magics, bound by war pacts, or rent asunder by treachery and vendetta. A veteran of 1,000 wars against elf, troll, and mortal, and yea, even the Hell King and his horde of Enfer. An immortal, you. But will you live to see the fall of all? Or perhaps ye be of immortal troll kind, twisted and despised, kin to fey yet full of envy, and yet still of mortal stock, who lays waste to the glory of the fey, but whose short days are quickly run. This is a visceral, fast-play role-playing game, a place where glory and death are hand in hand. Create immortal characters for a chance of everlasting fame within the pages of the game's future history, the Red Book of Ages. All such things await within these very pages, enabled by a brand new fast-play, innovative role-playing system, where the only requirements are a few 10-sided dice, a pen, paper, and a rich imagination. Well, that leaves me out. Had everything until we got to that imagination part. I have a poor imagination. I'm just kidding. Tread the immortal lands and beyond into the infinite worlds of the real realms to gain the glory of glare everlasting, and perhaps to see your name written within the Red Book of the Ages. The 155-page hardcover of Elf King, the Immortal role-playing game carries an MSRP of $44, while the PDF can be had for $20. Like the art style, and you're not seeing a lot of the images, but I gotta say, this has a serious Elric of Melniboné, or I guess how it's supposed to be pronounced is something like Mildaboni, something like that, although I hate that pronunciation. There you go, Malwinius is popping in, pointing out the same thing. Yeah, it's got a real Elric, Michael Moorcock vibe to it, especially a lot of the art that I have seen. So I do want to mention, if you find this to be interesting, if I have piqued your interest, maybe I've whetted your appetite for what appears to be a bit of a dark fantasy sword and sorcery sort of role-playing game, well, then stay tuned, because I'm going to give away a copy of Elf King the Immortal after the news. That's right. You must be a live viewer to be able to win. Yes, because the fine folks over at Lucid Eye Publications is actually sending me a copy, the hardcover, for us to take a look at and for me to review. And they've been kind enough to offer a PDF to a lucky viewer. So the question I will be asking, I might as well ask you now, and then once the news is over, I'll be looking for your answers. I'm going to randomly select somebody, so it really doesn't matter. There is no correct answer or bad answer. Who is your favorite elf in fantasy? It doesn't have to be literature. It could be cartoons. It could be movies, what have you. And of course, I know there's a particular elf I'll probably see quite a few times, but there are more than one elf. There is, I should say, more than one elf that are. There are more than one elf. There is more than one elf that's in pop culture, I would think. Hey, if you want, you could even say the Keebler elves. I know somebody was going to jump on that anyway. John Muscola is here in chat. And Nero's Fiddle has also shown up. There was somebody else, I think, I noticed. I said hello to 245 Trioxin. Thought I saw someone else pop on in after Kabuki Kid. Maybe it was Nero's Fiddle. There you go. There you go. Kabuki Kid's calling out. Flaming Heron's calling out the elf I was expecting. So wait, don't post your answers yet. Wait until after the news. I will ask you. And then that way it's easy for me just to go and roll a 20-sided die or something like that. Christian Ole is with us. I don't know if I was even close on that. So once again, Christian, hold your answer. We got 2 more news pieces to go. Speaking of 2s, issue 2 of Astoundingly Awesome Tales for Fallout, the role-playing game, has arrived in PDF. I've got the lowdown on fully operational scavenging run. Few tools of pre-war America have developed as much notoriety across the wasteland as a fully operational suit of power armor, a symbol of status, of wealth, and strength. Most wastelanders would give their last cap, sell out a friend, or even kill to get their hands on a set. In this digital adventure for Fallout, the role-playing game, a former Brotherhood of Steel scribe has identified the location of a previously undiscovered West Tech facility. Rumor has it that they may have been developing prototype power armor and other tech, but the site has been lost since the bombs fell. A journey through the wasteland is likely to be fraught with danger, but this is a prime opportunity for a scavenging run that simply can't be passed up. You'll have to head out to investigate, but it had better be worth the risk. The fully operational PDF features a 23-page adventure in 3 acts for characters levels 16 to 20, an abandoned West Tech facility to explore, several departments to scavenge, including manufacturing, weapons testing, and research and design. Spoilers! And new tech to discover and decisions to be made about its future. The 23-page PDF is available right now over at DriveThruRPG for $7.50. Sweet. Always good to see content from Modiphius Entertainment. I've got to say, in the past couple of years, they have, in my opinion, I think they've really upped their game as far as the amount of support that they have provided for just about all of their role-playing games. Now, of course, yes, they lost the license on Conan, which keep your eyes peeled because you're still going to have a couple of opportunities, I think, to score those PDFs for a song. I know they were heavily discounting some of the books, but they didn't have like the core book or anything because I would have bought it because I don't own the core book. In fact, I don't think I have any of the Conan releases physically. But I gotta say, Modiphius, every week or so, there's a new adventure, there's new content for something. Be it Fallout or Star Trek Adventures, Achtung Cthulhu, which you shall be seeing those reviews of the 2 core books very shortly. We might have another Achtung Cthulhu week, but this time we'll be tackling the reviews. So anyway, so new adventure for Fallout. And to be honest, I think they had just had, I think there was an adventure that just came out, the first issue of Astonishingly Amazing Stories. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So Flaming Heron says same, they've got plenty of digital Conan, Veteran points out that Mongoose did a really good Conan. I never checked it out. Never checked it out. I remember seeing the old TSR. I remember seeing the old TSR Conan module and the Red Sonja module. I don't know if people out there remember that from AD&D. All right, final news piece. There is a new supplement which has arrived for the all-ages fantasy role-playing game, The Magical Land of Yeld. Here's the deets on Warhare Ranch. Warhares are the traditional mounts of Yeld's heroes, champions of the rabbit and hare tribes, and the chosen companions of the old kings. Discover Yeld's very last Warhare Ranch and learn the secrets of this unusual animal tribe and the family of ranchers that has protected them for over 1,000 years. This 24-page expansion includes new rules for mounted collecting warhares. I think somebody threw in an extra mounted here. I think it should say, this 24-page expansion includes new rules for collecting warhares and mounted combat. In Warhare Ranch, you'll find the history of warhares and the Teigeler family of ranchers. Hunt, incubate, and hatch warhare eggs. Find ultra shiny eggs. Collect 39 new warhare mounts. There's, once again, full rules for mounted combat. Power up your monsters with a new monster title and 2 new monster special dice, plus 13 new monster mounts. A new character sheet for your mounts, and a whole bunch of new art, including instructional comics, which is kind of a thing that the Magical Land of Yeld does, which I think is kind of cool. This 24-page PDF can be had right now over at DriveThruRPG for $5. Yes, now you notice, maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't. I mentioned the all ages role-playing game, not the children's role-playing game, because you can certainly play this role-playing game with kids, but there is a dark vibe to this setting, and it is based on the Modest Medusa comic. Strangely enough, the website that used to be for the role-playing game is no longer. So, but they are still supporting the role-playing game because this just came out today. So it's like, okay. But I reviewed the Magical Land of Yeld. I really liked it. I thought it was really well done. And like I said, I thought it was a perfect fit for gamers of all ages. Even though it had cartoons and a bunch of illustrations in that, it wasn't talking down to the players. So it was very, very cool. Kabuki Kid says they remember Conan's strength stat was 1890. She always felt that he was closer to 1800, which would have been 100. You know what? I don't know if Conan really would be. Kabuki Kid said there was this Red Sonja 1 and 2 Conan modules, and they own them. Sweet. Very cool. Very cool. All right, that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. Don't forget, the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, DriveThruRPG or Dungeon Masters Guild or Storyteller's Vault, Wargame Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our ads. Normally they're banners. Right now they're sidebar ads. And if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always stop on by paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation. And much appreciation for those out there who utilize the One Bookshelf ads and or visit paypal.me. Thank you kindly, everybody. Sweet. All right. So back to the contest for Elf King the Immortal. If you want to get into the running to win a copy of the core rulebook, the 155-page core rulebook in PDF, right now, let me know in chat your favorite elf in popular culture. Anything. Doesn't have to be pop culture. There's a lot of stories out there and mythology and things like that with the elves and the fae that I don't think I would consider like pop culture. Just like the Nordic tales of trolls. I wouldn't say that's pop culture. It's kind of geek culture to me. But so Nero's Fiddle says, Elrond, if you don't count Elric as an elf. Elric is not an elf. They are not elves. Similar. The Madman Perfect, Elfo from Disenchantment. That was a pretty decent show. Some episodes were miss. Some were hits, some were misses. Anyway, do want to go back real quick to the comment about Conan's strength. I would not consider Conan as written by Robert E. Howard. I wouldn't give him an 18 strength. I would probably go 16, maybe 17, but I would certainly give him probably a higher dexterity than what his stat block probably was with AD&D. So that would be what I would go with, to be very honest with you, because Conan does have great strength, but Conan, as written by Robert E. Howard, is not an Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of physique. He's supposed to be fairly lithe, sort of, I don't know. Kabuki Kid says, I read a Conan story where he was trapped in a sarcophagus or something, and he lifted the stone slab off of him with his legs. I imagined him as pretty damn strong. Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's not strong. I'm just saying I don't picture him. There you go. Nero's Fiddle points out Howard often referred to Conan as panther-ish. Yes, yeah. To me, he seems more along the lines of being like coiled steel. You hear that sometimes about, like, characters, fictional characters. All right, last chance, everybody. Last chance to get your favorite elf in, and then I will count up, see what we've got, and then I will roll a 20-sided die. Let's see. Get me back up to... So Kabuki Kid's talking about mentioning the Redstone and the Conan aren't great adventure modules. No, they really weren't. But they are rare and valuable. Very cool. Okay, so I think, oh, Tessie Trekkie was also pointing out the Quest role-playing game seems very similar to the Magical Land of Yeld. A lot of cartoon graphics, easy system, doesn't talk down to its players. I think one of the reasons why we have so much of those sort of graphics in the Magical Land of Yeld is because of the webcomic. because it's a very long-running webcomic. Modest Medusa that it is based on. Okay, so I think Nero's Fiddle was our first entry. So let me get my handy-dandy 20-sided die. Let's hope it's not a 20, because I don't think there's 20 answers. So what did I just say? Let's hope it's not a 20. Came up as a 20. There we go. 8. Number 8. So let's see. Nero's Fiddle, Elrond's 1. The Madman Elfo from Disenchantment is 2. Disavowed 92 must not be in the running because they said all elves are bad. John Muscola, Drizzt, is number 3. Then we've got Christian with Galadriel. That's 4. Flaming Heron is giving us Illidan Stormrage from Warcraft. I don't really play much Warcraft, so that's why I didn't recognize that. So that would be number 5. Kabuki Kid is 6 with Legolas. Caitlin K says, Hermie the Misfit Elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Right there, if I had an extra copy to give away, I would award that. Because that is way outside the box. Way outside the box. Yes. Got to love it. So what was that? Was that number 7? So Jaren Skirvin says Lathril from Magic the Gathering. And I believe Jaren is our winner. Let me go back, double check. I believe they're number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, Jaren, you are the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So what you need to do is you need to email me at jeffmaclear@thegaminggang.com with an email address that I can forward along to Lucid Eye to send you a link so you can download your copy of Elf King, the Immortal role-playing game. So thank you, everybody, for taking part. That was kind of a flash contest. So let's talk about another contest. I mentioned this last night because we've got the Blood March as well as the Book of Beasts coming for, I assume you can read that, Forbidden Lands from Free League Publishing. I am running a contest where I will give one lucky viewer a copy of the core. So what's in this box set, which was one of my games of the year when it came out, one of my favorite games of the year, I should say, as well as the Book of Beasts and the Blood March in PDF. And pretty easy to get into the running. Just simply be a subscriber and comment on this video. So from yesterday through the 14th, which will provide you 10 opportunities to leave a comment on videos. And yesterday's video only had 1 comment. So I don't know. That gets you in the running. So every video you comment on from yesterday's through the 14th gets you an entry. So it's possible you could have 10 entries in the contest. And then on the 15th, which I believe is a Wednesday, it's either a Wednesday or Thursday. Let me take a quick peek. I take that back. It is a Thursday. So 2 weeks from today. Wouldn't it be 2 weeks or is it 3 weeks? Yeah, that'd be 3 weeks. Yeah, there's 7 days in a week, Jeff. We're not at the end of May yet. It just feels like it. I keep sitting there like, is tomorrow June 1st? Tomorrow June 1st? Anyway, I will reveal the winner. So that's it. Pretty simple. And the comment has to be a legitimate comment. It can't just be like, "Hi, Jeff. I like your show." It has something to do with what was on the show. That's all. All righty then. So we are going to be diving on into the Mirror of Malatesto from 12 Strand Media and Exalted Funeral in just a couple of moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Like rower said, rower.
Frosty, man, frosty.
Old man Wilkins just hired me to sell his crummy Wilkins coffee. I think he just fired you, too.
Whammo presents the Firetron Formula Super Ball and super elastic bubble plastic. Plastic bubbles from a tube. Just squeeze it out and blow it up. They last and last. Firetron Super Ball gives you 50,000 pounds of compressed energy for crazy bouncing tricks. Firetron Super Ball and super elastic bubble plastic, sold separately from Whammo.
And now, on with the show.
What was Dr. Pepper thinking? Man, that would not fly these days. Just like my best friend Elliot Miller and I always talk about how, oh, we don't always, it comes up, how Mel Brooks would never have gotten away with Blazing Saddles these days. Never. And we must have watched that movie 150 times when we were in high school. I can quote huge stretches of that movie. What's that in your mouth? Nothing. Nothing, May. Lyle? Chewing gum, eh? I hope you brought enough for everyone. I didn't know there'd be so many. Yeah. So, well, yes, and Wilkins did live with third-degree burns, as Flaming Heron points out. And yes, Kabuki Kid is talking about the that bubble stuff smelled toxic. Yes, it smelled so gross. I remember we never had it, but I remember having like friends as a kid who had that, and it was like, man, this is the lamest thing ever. Blow it up. Yes, okay, yeah, all right. Wait for it to dry. Yeah. Kabuki Kid also points out that was the most bonkers movie snack clip they've ever seen. Yeah, that one is just really, really bizarre. And even for the time, because it's got to be late 60s, early 70s, even for the time, that's just such a bizarre. I mean, I understand it's supposed to be a witch doctor. Yeah, okay, I get it. But so we've had a few people pop on in. So let's see. Quantum Phase Dragon is with us, as is Game Master's Hobby. And I don't think I said hello to Stray Kismet. Maybe I did. Maybe they've been here for a while, but we got a good chat rocking and rolling at the moment. So, without further ado, tonight I am going to dive in and page through The Mirror of Malatesto from 12 Strand Media and Exalted Funeral. It's written by Marc Star with artwork provided by Teigeler, Chris Malec, William McAusland, Andy Paciorek, and Hagan Man. And I'm sure I probably messed up a couple of those names. My apologies. This 82-page digest-sized softcover with PDF is available over through Exalted Funeral for $18, or if you want to grab just the PDF alone, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $9.99. Flaming Heron says this is a fantastic night. We got 21 people watching. I know we've broken that a few times. But I mean, 21 viewers at one time is pretty decent for us. It actually is. So, Kabuki Kid is mentioning Candygram for Mongo. Candygram for Mongo. So, my favorite scene from Blazing Saddles, I'm going to jump back for a second because it's visual. It's with Gene Wilder. And he's talking about how, he's a gunfighter in that. And he holds his hand out. And Cleavon Little says, steady as a rock. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, but I shoot with this hand. Yes. All right. So let's swing on over to the other camera. We're going to be taking a look at The Mirror of Malatesto. So on the back, we actually have a map of the catacombs. So as far as I understand, this is supposed to be a campaign. So I believe this is the first book that's being released in this campaign. So it comes in two flavors. So this is the OSE, the Old School Essentials flavor. And then it also comes in a 5e. Stray Kismet. Mongo is but pawn in great game of life. Yes. So this is an epic low-level adventure for OSE. This adventure details key locations within 4 hexes of the continent of Lower Talth for a party of low-level adventurers as they head south toward the cliff village of Solum, a pious town of superstitious and paranoid pilgrims. I will mention that the font is pretty small. So I'm a little, oh my gosh. Look at it. Look at how packed this text is. So, whoa. Front End Chaos is joining us. I got to be honest, I think this might be a first-time visit for Front End Chaos. So welcome aboard. Wow. Jeez. So let's see. Though a simple, okay, so here's the story of Malatesto in the Mirror. All right, so I should also point out a couple of things before we get too far into this. First of all, this is an adventure. So if you are a player of Old School Essentials or really any BX retro clone, and you think your game master might run this, you're probably going to want to tune out. Because even though I really know nothing about this, outside of a few things that I've kind of stumbled across, there's going to be spoilers because we're going to flip through and we're going to see stuff that's going to spoil surprises for you. Also, do want to mention that the author of the Mirror of Malatesto, Marc Star, was kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But as with everything, always point out, neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. And it's important that you know that. We're not going to look at each and every page as well, but I want to get a good feeling for what this is. So let's see what we've got with the story here. Though a simple gravedigger, Vincent Malatesto was wise beyond his station in life and far more intellectually capable than the challenges afforded him by shoveling soil for the pits of the dead. Nevertheless, Malatesto continued to dredge the earth, resigned to providence until one fateful day when his luck changed and his shovel struck a solid crystal chest buried deep beneath eons of clay. Inside the chest, Malatesto found dozens of stone tablets upon which were etched runeform and hieroglyphic texts. Malatesto wondered if these relics might be ancient incantations of First Age warlocks, the legendary purveyors of a long-lost and forbidden science. Oh, a little fancy in there. Well, got a little fancy in. Although Malatesto knew that such matters might best be left buried, his intellectual curiosity got the better of him. So it looks like he deciphers them, teaches him how to build a mirror. So it says, Malatesto constructed the mirror and voiced the incantations. His spirit separated from his body and left the physical world behind as he stepped through the mirror into an ancient temple known as the Maleficium, a sanctum of order contained within the chaos of the malefic void. Huh, okay. So this is all just background story. And then we're going to get some background about the game setting. Kabuki Kid says Jack fans just perked up. Better to perk up than to be spinning. So Malwinius says that this adventure looks dark with all the skulls. So points of interest in the subcontinent of Lower Toth. So here we've got a bit of a hex map. And then we've got our points of interest. I got to be honest, this would probably be far easier to read in PDF because PDF is could be magazine size on your computer or on your tablet. So I understand why this is digest sized as far as production cost, but I gotta be honest, I would think that something more along the lines of a traditional 8.5 by 11 would be perfect for this because we've got a lot of artwork here. Granted, I'm sure probably a lot of this artwork is kind of royalty-free art. Not all of it, because we do have quite a few artists who are involved in this. So maybe it's not royalty free. So we've got character creation. That's cool. And it's giving us info for what appears to be the advanced old school essentials, because we have the acrobat, the assassin, the thief, the barbarian, the bard, the cleric, the druid, and then it's got our races here. The illusionist, the magic user, halfling. So it looks as if this is being broken down as far as, because in advanced OSE, you've got essentially, you've got two options. You can do it like AD&D, where you have your race and class separate, or you can do it where your race is class. And that's what it's looking like here, is it's kind of giving you the breakdown on each of the classes. And if you're playing an illusionist or magic user, well, then this is your background. John Mascola said they can barely read this. Yeah, the font is really small. I mean, I can read it. And you know that I am not like right up close to this. So you know when I'm reading stuff from books that we take a peek at, that sometimes it's not that easy to make out. I can make this out okay. So like here, environs of Solem, so these are rumors. And one of them is a clandestine slave trade operates deep within the Ware Forest. That's true. Melania says all the OSE books they have are this size, but the letters in this one are quite small. You're right. Yeah, it's a very small font. Murder at the Deadeye Inn. Dun, dun, dun. Kabuki Kid is saying 8-point font? I don't know. I gotta be honest, it's almost like this might be 6. Serious. I mean, it's small. But just think of how much content is packed into this. So we've got our Deadeye Inn. We've got our random occurrences. We've got rumors about it. We've got our map. Now remember, this comes with the PDF. If you order this from Exalted Funeral, it comes with the PDF for $18. If you only want the PDF, it's $9.99 over at DriveThruRPG. John Mascola says 6. Yikes! That's just a guess. I'm just eyeballing it. The Quarry Rebellion. Like I said, I can make it out. Ritual altar for a sinister god. So this is, I think, oh, that's cool. I think we just saw this image earlier. Random occurrences at the lair of the worm. I think these are the points of interest. These might be, yeah, this is what I'm thinking is these are the points of interest on that hex map. And then I think we get a dungeon. Kabuki Kid asks, does it come with a magnifying glass? Yes, for an additional $3.99. Here we have the Hanging Gardens of Warning Grove. Oh, they're hanging all right. Part 2, the arrest of Benedictus, priest of the Temple of the First Sage. So I believe the big bads in this are some evil warlocks. So this is, here we go. So here's the Temple of the First Sage. And one of the things I like about many OSE adventures is that you'll have the map, the dungeon, what have you. And then as you get into the keyed areas, you'll actually have little areas zoomed in on that portion of the map. I really like that. I like that quite a lot. It makes it far easier as a game master to run these adventures and to know, okay, not always have the map like right there in front of you at all times. So let's take a peek to see how these are presented. So each of these keyed areas has, looks like it's kind of just like first impression. Then we got nightstand, dresser. So this is Benedictus's chambers. And then we get kind of bullet points of the nightstand, the dresser, walk-in closet, a closet inside a closet. Well, looks like we've got some magic items here. So it looks like that is how the information is presented. So as an example, we've got the meditation pool. So we have a little section about the pool, the meditation pool ceremony, the desire candle. We have a fear candle as well. My interest is piqued. I gotta be honest. So we have the catacombs underneath the temple of the first sage. And another map. Artwork's pretty solid throughout. Some pretty cool line art. Then we've got Into the Mirror. That's kind of wild. And then we have our possible endings. And that would be our 82 pages of jam-packed The Mirror of Malatesto. Sweet. I will have a review of this in the not too distant future. And once again, a big thank you to Marc Star for sending this review copy along. As I mentioned, I kind of get the feeling that this is a campaign. So this is, because it even says book 0. And there is a website that you can go to. If you do, go to Google, do a search for the Mirror of Malatesto. And there is a website that kind of talks about this campaign. I kind of took a peek at it. So kind of interesting. It kind of talks about this world, this game world. Coco B is with us, swinging on in late, asking if they missed any good rants. Not tonight. Once again, the Mirror of Malatesto is available in 2 flavors, OSE, which we just saw, and 5e D&D. It is available as a digest-sized softcover with the PDF for $18 over at Exalted Funeral, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $9.99. Kabuki Kids pointing out you missed the most insane movie snack bumper. I have shared that once before. I would take a guess the Madman probably remembers that, because Madman catches many, I don't want to say all of the shows because there is that game night every other week. But I'm pretty sure he caught that one before. And yes, it's just very bizarre. JC is with us as well. If I've missed anybody else who popped on into chat, I apologize. Because you know me, I always try to say howdy. Anywho, next week, I am kind of up in the air with what we might do. like I said, I believe for June, we're going to do most of June. We're going to do some reviews. We're going to do some live reviews in June. Manman says, yeah, they remember seeing it. Not often, though. Like I said, I think I've only shared it once. So at some point, we are going to start like recycling intermissions that you've seen because I can't create a new one for every single show, which is pretty much what I have done for quite some time now. So, you know, I'll make new ones from time to time, and I haven't gotten to the point where I'm starting to recycle them yet. But I was considering it earlier today. I was like, you know, I have a bunch of these intermissions already done. But I know some of them were like holiday season too, so can't use those. So anyway, so in June, I am going to do some live reviews, probably role-playing game releases. So got that. Next week on Tuesday's show, we are going to take a look at Fear of the Unknown. It's a horror role-playing game, yeah. So we'll be diving on into this. And I actually just flipped through real quick, just taking a peek. And I'll tell you right now, quite different as far as the font size as opposed to what we were just looking at with the Mirror of Malatesto. So, in fact, this looks like the font is almost a little too big. But we'll be diving on into that. And then on Wednesday, we will have a War Game Wednesday. So we'll be unboxing and taking a look at ancient civilizations of the Middle East from GMT Games. I pointed this out yesterday, really liked the ancient civilizations of the inner sea, or inner seas. Yeah, I think it's inner seas from GMT. So this is, this builds on that system. And I believe there are a bunch of civilizations as well. And then on Thursday, a week from today, I'm not sure. There are a variety of things that are supposed to be in transit. I don't know if they are or not. So we will see. So that's it for this week, and that's it for this show. If you were watching live, thank you very kindly. Of course, don't forget, give the show a like. If you want to get into the running for Forbidden Lands and the Blood March and Book of Beasts, don't forget to comment on this video. Don't forget that. Anyway, if you were watching live and you took part in chat, big tip of the cap, because not only are you keeping me company, you're keeping each other company as well. Then again, I know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. I really do appreciate each and every one of you checking out any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. If you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, by all means, please do. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it will not only let you know when the dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Pathfinder Lost Omens Firebrands from Paizo Inc. All right, everybody enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. I will be back next week. And of course, here's hoping all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again